Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to a Viva-Mundo webinar. Today we are joined by the brilliant BI Norwegian Business School in Norway. We are going to be discussing all things why you should study there. And a little tip, please do ask any questions. We welcome them throughout the whole webinar. Any questions, please do pop them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and we will get to them at the end of the webinar. Just a little bit about Viva-Mundo and what we do. Essentially, we are here to help you with all the advice and all things universities and colleges internationally. So whether that be visa information, courses, degree applications, we are here to help you and see you on to the next chapter of your lives. Right, so I'm going to be finishing off now and hand it over to you, Christine.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody to this presentation. My name is Christine. I work at BI Norwegian Business School in the Marketing and Recruitment Department. And with me today, I have Megan, who is a student, second year student in the Strategic Marketing Management program. So she'll be talking, to you a little bit about her experience in Norway and being a student, whereas I will take you through all the practical things. So, and as mentioned, please just let us know if you have any questions and we'll try to answer all of them. So the name of the presentation is, as you have seen, studying business in Norway, a good investment. We think it's a very good investment. It's a very sound investment and well spent money. And so why Norway? Norway is safe. We have a very stable economy, very low unemployment. You have the Nordic management perspective that is a very flat structure, and we very much value the work-life balance, and our free time is very valuable to us. So it's you get to cherish, life outside of work in Norway. We've been voted the best country to live in many years in a row. And I'm Norwegian, so I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think it's a fantastic country to live in. Another important thing is that English is widely spoken, so you don't have to know Norwegian to live in Norway or study in Norway, but we always encourage our students to learn at least the basics of the language. Another good reason why you should choose BI as your study partner is that we have all the right accreditation. So we're a triple crown school, which is only 1% of the business schools worldwide have this accreditation, or these 3 accreditations. So we're very proud of these accreditations, and we have to work very hard to keep these accreditations. It's hard to get them, but it's even harder to keep them. And these accreditations means that your degree will be recognized and valued all over the world. So if you take your degree back to your home country or to a third country, it will be valued, and it will be a stamp of quality and approval. Also, BI has a very international environment, and this is very important for us as well. We work with more than 200 partner schools, very good schools across the world. Some of you listening in today might even be from a partner institution. About 20% of our Master of Science students are international students from all over the world. It's a good mix of students. About 60% of our BBA and Business Analytics students, so the English programs that we have on bachelor level, are international students. Around 30% of our faculty are international, and in a normal situation, we usually receive about 500 exchange students from around the world to come and visit BI. The international programs, I'll go through them in detail after this, but we have 2 bachelor programs. Bachelor of Science programs taught entirely in English, and then we have 8 Master of Science programs taught in English. In addition to that, we also have a pathway program on the bachelor level. So the bachelor programs that we offer in English are the General Business Administration program, which is a broad program which gives you a very good foundation to business. And in this program, you can choose to either focus on finance, international business, or shipping management, which is quite a unique program or major. In addition to that, we have a more specialized bachelor program in business analytics. And these 2 programs are 3-year programs. If for some reason you do not qualify directly into our bachelor programs, it is possible to do a pathway program, which we have together with a university in Sweden, Jönköping University, which means that if you take this program in Jönköping, you can start one of our bachelor programs. If you have any questions about this, please let us know. It's hard to go too much into detail on this. Our master program, so we have more master programs in English, like more or less all of our programs are in English on the master level, with a couple of exceptions. Our biggest program is the business program. And in the business program, where we have most of our students actually, you choose a major. So for example, you can choose strategy or logistics or leadership and change or marketing. And so it's a broad, I call it breadth of knowledge. And then we have programs that are more depth of knowledge, that are more specialized master programs. And those would be business analytics, quantitative finance, applied economics, there's finance, leadership and organizational psychology, strategic marketing management, which is Megan's program. And then we have entrepreneurship and innovation. And then we also have a joint program in marketing with Lewis in Rome, which is a 1+1. So all of these programs are 2 years, 2 years full-time. And they should be on campus. Most of our students are actually on campus, even with the pandemic that we're in the middle of now. So these are our 8 programs that we have. And being a business school, all of our programs in some way or another are connected to business, economics, marketing, finance, in some form or another. So there are lots of opportunities while you are a student, and Megan will go more into that as a student herself. But as a student at BI, we want to make sure that you have, a range of resources and opportunities, and that we give you, a set of tools that you have to work with. And so it's up to you to take those tools and make it happen, I guess. And you have a lot of opportunities to, for example, go on exchange, or you can do an internship like Megan has done, or you can do a summer school. We have different student societies, from sports to academics. We also have something that's very important, I think, in a very, very good career service or career guidance. So our colleagues in the career team are very, very dedicated to our students, not only when they complete their studies, but also while they're students. So they can also help you with study guidance. So we have a lot of resources for our students to, hopefully make you succeed. So that this is very, very important for us. And I always say that your success is our success. So if you are successful as a student, that means that we have done a good job. So we'll give you all the tools, and then you have to make the best of those tools. So just some practical information that is very important, I guess, is the tuition fee. So I said that this is a good investment. I think this is a brilliant investment in terms of the price and the quality that you get for your education. So a bachelor degree is approximately $9,000 US, give or take, per year. And this is just for the tuition fees. But if you compare it to other Triple Crown schools across especially if you have most of the Triple Crown schools in Europe, this is a very good price. The pathway program, if you're interested in that, the price for that is given in Swedish kroners, and the price for that is the total is between 22 and 24,000 US dollars, and that includes board and tuition fees. That includes everything. Our Master of Science tuition fee ranges from it ranges from around 11 to 12,000 US dollars per year, depending a little bit on the program. Again, a very good price for a high quality program. We do have some scholarships for international students, mostly on the Master of Science level and not so much on the bachelor level. And those scholarship ranges, it's from full tuition fee waiver and living costs to partial tuition fee waiver. The scholarships are depends on your academic level, I guess. So they're very competitive. So you have to be really good students. You have to be good students to get into the program, but you have to be an even better student to compete for the scholarships. Housing is guaranteed for international students, so you don't have to look for housing yourself, which is really good, and you will have a room before you come. You don't have to look for that after, or you don't have to worry that you don't have a place to stay when you come. And I've seen the student housing. I've seen student housings around the world, and I guess the quality here is quite good. And you always have your own room, so you don't have to share a bedroom with anyone. You might have to share a kitchen with someone, but you don't have to share a bedroom with anyone. So you don't have to worry about that. The visa process is, I say it's easy and intuitive. So it's, the Norwegian government is very flexible, or the Norwegian authorities are very flexible, and they've shown that, especially this year with the corona, where a lot of borders or countries closed and students were not allowed to enter. In Norway, actually, most of our international students, and we didn't see a huge drop in international students this year, they were able to make it to Norway, which was, we were very thankful for that. And we were expecting that to keep, in 2021 as well. So all students, if they were able to travel, they were able to apply for the residence permit, they were allowed to come to Norway from July this year. So that made it, we were very happy about that. Students can work up to 20 hours per week, so you can work part-time. Some students work on campus, like Megan works with us in our department, and some students work off campus. So it is possible to work while you study. We don't recommend more than 20 hours because it is tough to study, and the programs are demanding. But it's absolutely possible, and you get this work permit when you get your study permit, so you don't have to apply for that separately, then they come together. Just quickly about the admission process. Everything is done online. We are scheduled to open our admission or our application portal in about 2 weeks, around the middle of November. So they're preparing everything now for you to apply. We need you to have a complete application before we can process your application. So then we need to see your transcripts, your and diploma if you have completed your degree. We need to see your test scores depending on the level. For example, for all of our master programs, we require a GMAT or a GRE. There are some waiver opportunities, and I just encourage you to go into our website to see if you qualify for a waiver. We're looking for a motivation letter, we're looking for a CV, and a copy of your passport. We do not require a recommendation letter. You can upload a recommendation letter if you want to, but it's not mandatory. We have rolling admission, so the sooner you apply, the sooner you have a complete application, the sooner we can assess your application and give you feedback. There is no application fee, so you don't have to pay anything to apply. So it doesn't, that's not a huge investment. And with the prioritized deadline is March 1st. So, but we encourage you to apply before March 1st. And you can, if you are in your final year of university, you can apply now. If you are given admission, you'll be given a what's it called? You'll be given a conditional offer, sorry, and then you just have to complete your degree. And now I will be turning over to Megan, who will tell her story and how wonderful it is to study in Norway and BI. Over to you, Megan.
Yes, hi. Yeah, so I'll just start off by telling you guys a bit about who I am. So my name is Megan. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is in the US. I received my double bachelor's degree in international business and marketing in Oklahoma. And during that bachelor's, I also did an exchange at BI, and that was kind of my introduction to BI in Norway. And I was so in love with it. I think within 1 month of me being home, I applied for my master's immediately. And since then, since I got here in 2019, I've also worked in the international recruitment and marketing department. So I've been helping students kind of go along the same journey that I was on. And Christina, next slide. Great. So why did I love Norway so much after just 1 semester here? I guess I can start with the first week I was here. We have a really great orientation week, and even with Corona, we still did this orientation week. So we really want to make sure that students feel welcome, like they have friends here, a support system. And from in the first 48 hours I was here, I already felt at home, which was really important to me when being abroad. A little more practical, I think that all of the coursework here is very relevant and interesting. It's obviously very theoretical, especially at the master's level. However, I think that they connect it really well to real world application, which is something that's quite difficult to do, but I really appreciate. And this kind of goes into the next point, which is that BI is very well connected to industry in general. So we have a lot of guest speakers. We have a career portal where companies are just looking for BI students. You can go intern at these companies. You can invite them for, to have talks on campus or digitally, however you want. The resources are really there for you to get involved in industry. And it's recognized globally. So if you want to stay in Norway, like Christina said, obviously it's the #1 school in Norway for business. However, if I wanted to go back home to the US, or if I wanted to move to another part of Europe, I know that my degree would still be recognized. And that's not something that I had with my bachelor's degree. So that was very, very important to me. Also, the BI campus, at least in Oslo, which is where most of the English speaking programs are, it's very centrally located. Like, you're in the middle of the city, you're near industry, you're near coffee shops. The neighborhood is really nice. So you're close to nature, but you're also kind of right by the metro, which is a great balance. And the last point, which I guess kind of goes back as the underlying theme through all of this, is that there's a lot of student support and motivation here. So I feel supported by my peers, by my professors, by the counselors on campus. Moving abroad is really hard. It's not a walk in the park, but I've always felt like I had a support system here. So that's been great. And on the next slide, I will talk about a little why Norway in general. So the last slide was about BI specifically, but Norway as a whole is very innovation forward. It's very high tech, it's very sustainable. All of these things that we praise worldwide, you can really find here, which is great because this opens up new perspectives on a personal level. And it also opens up a lot of career opportunities that you might not have in other parts of the world. So social and professional opportunities are of course available for Norwegians, but they're also very available for international students. Like Christina said, English is not a problem here. If you speak good English, then you're guaranteed to have some opportunities and make friends. So that shouldn't be a worry at all. And also Norway is very safe. So I think coming from the US, specifically where I am in the US, this was something that was very important to me. The fact that I can, walk at night by myself as a woman and feel completely safe here is something that you can't find everywhere in the world, to say it at that. So that's really cool. And then lastly, nature, which I think is kind of speaks for itself. As you can see, there's over 1,000 fjords here in Norway. I had never seen one in my life before I came here. And now I can go 30 minutes outside the city and see a ton of them. So just being able to take weekend trips to a cabin or morning hikes or something, like this is very, very special, and something, once again, that you can't find everywhere in the world. So on the next slide, I'll talk a bit about some of the concerns that we get from international students, also some concerns that I had myself. The first one being cost of living. It's no secret that Norway is relatively expensive, not only on a global scale, but also within Europe. However, I will say that one, if you have a part-time job of any sort, it is expensive, but wages are high. So you get paid enough to pay your rent, go out with your friends. I've never felt financially uncomfortable, thankfully, since I've had a job here. And also just being a student in the city, you get a lot of benefits. So for example, your housing is subsidized by the government. So I pay cheaper rent than the normal person. My transportation is subsidized. You can get great discounts on food and movies and all of these fun things. So it's very student friendly from a financial perspective. The next one, which I get a lot, is the cold culture here in Norway. Cold both in terms of weather and in people. I'm from the US and we're obviously quite loud and friendly. And when I got here, I was a little bit shocked that not everybody was talking all the time like they were back home. But what I've learned is that you just have to be a little bit patient with Norwegians. Like you just have to make them a little bit comfortable. Once they know you, once they're comfortable with you, they open up, they've known you their whole lives, which is something that it creates really good friendships that I have here. I mean, some of my best friends that I've ever made are here in Oslo. So it just takes a little bit longer here, maybe than other parts of the world, but it's definitely not impossible. Long winters and the weather in general. Also where I'm from, it's very warm. So I was a bit nervous. But the good news is that it snows, which is great because where I'm from, when it's cold, it's just cold and there's no snow. But it snows here. We have all 4 seasons. The summers are beautiful. The days are long. So, you have kind of maybe a tough month in the winter, but I would say it's definitely net positive given all the other beautiful seasons that you have. Language barriers, we touched on this a bit, but if you speak English, you're gonna be okay. And it's always great to learn Norwegian. At BI, we actually offer some Norwegian courses at a discount, which I've taken myself. And they're great. So, it helps when I'm ordering coffee or reading stuff online. But it's not necessarily a barrier when applying to jobs or communicating in general. And then lastly, life after graduation. This is every student's concern, I think, especially for those who are wanting to stay in Norway. A lot of questions we get is can I stay here? Is there a place for me in this country? And absolutely. I mean, of course, you're going to have to work on it. It's not like you come here and they hand you a job. You're going to have to be persistent, apply, but BI is well recognized all across Norway, greatly connected to industry. So there's many opportunities for you. You just have to kind of seize them. I myself am also kind of in the midst of this life after graduation. So if you have any questions about that, then just feel free to ask. And next, you can just see some of our social medias. So feel free to follow us, check in on us, message us. Me and my team, we take the Life at BI Instagram account. So if you guys want to see what that's all about, then feel free. And if you need to contact us, you can just send us an email at info@bi.no.
So I think that's what we had. That was our presentation. So hopefully we'll have some questions.
Great, thank you guys so much for an informative presentation. We have got a few questions actually that have come in over the course of the last half hour. I will start this off for you guys. So there's been one question that has been quite often, I think everyone's worry in this current climate. Will I get a student work visa after I finish my degree?
That's a very good question. Yes, so you get 6 months to apply for a student or a work permit after you graduate. Actually, a lot of our students actually have a job before they graduate. So, and that includes our international students as well. So a lot of them secure jobs before they even graduate. But you have 6 months to find a job. And then if you have a job, there's no limit on how long you can stay as long as you have a job contract. So you won't be kicked out after 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. So you can stay as long as you have a job.
Great. And we have another question previously actually from the registrations. When do you think Norway will open its borders again to study a master's degree?
So Norway is open to come and study. As I said in the presentation, the government opened the borders for international students from all over the world, so not just Europe, but the whole world. So we have students who came from Brazil, from China, from Mexico this year. So we have students, and from the US. So we have students who came in from all over. So, and we're not seeing this change anytime soon or in 2021. We're expecting it to stay open for students, even though it's closed for everyone else, basically.
Great, thank you. Another question. After how long of living in Norway can I apply for citizenship?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you know, Megan, but I think maybe you can apply for a residence permit after 5 years of paying tax and working and paying tax, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so it depends on where you're from. If you're not from the EU, I believe it's actually 7 years, and your education does not count towards that. So basically, once you've started working for 7 years, then yeah, you can apply. And I think for the EU, it's 5 years. Yeah.
EU, I think you don't have to apply for a citizenship. Actually,
you don't have to apply.
Yeah, it's an automatic thing. Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Okay, great. And this is quite a long question, so bear with me. Can courses such as accounting, statistics, and economics at upper secondary level and in the first year of university substitute for maths as a requirement? Asking from the perspective of a student who has high school plus 1 year university education.
Okay, I think I understood the question. So that's going into a bachelor degree, right?
Correct, yeah.
So yeah, so in mathematics, it's not mandatory. It's recommended, but it's not mandatory necessarily. So, but as long as you have it on a high school level, that's fine. Was the question, sorry, say again, so the person didn't have mathematics?
Yeah, so I think they have courses such as accounting, statistics, and economics at upper level.
I think that should be fine. I don't expect that to be a problem.
Awesome. We have another question about fees. Do you have any information about fees on enrolling, or
yeah,
does that depend on courses?
It does depend on courses. So I can bring up this slide again here. Oops, sorry, that was a bit quick. So here's the slide for the tuition fees. I didn't mention the living costs. Megan talked a little bit about the living costs. So we're estimating living costs to be around, I'd say about between 10 to 12,000 US per year, depending a little bit on where you live and how much you party. And it's a lot of restrictions these days. So I guess students don't party as much as they used to do, but so it depends a little bit on your personal expenditure, but roughly between 10 to 12,000 US per year. In terms of the tuition fees, around to $10,000 per year. And then the master, that's a fixed for both the programs and bachelor. For masters, it depends a little bit on the program. So for example, the business analytics program is slightly more expensive than the other programs. And also if you want to do the joint program with Lewis, that's also slightly more expensive. But again, go into our website and you will have a complete overview of the different courses and the different programs.
Great, thanks. Maybe keep that slide on just in case anyone else asks. There's another question. Is there any age limit for admission? I am 40 years of age, so am I eligible to apply for postgraduate courses?
Yes, you are. So in Norway, we're not allowed to discriminate on age or gender or anything. So everyone's welcome to apply. There is no age limit.
Brilliant, great. And how much is the score required in IELTS for admission?
Good question. 6.5 for the master's and 6.0 for the bachelor.
Great, that's perfect. We have another question here. If you have, one second. Last question. If you have a European passport, besides from the benefits of the tuition fees, what are benefits from the government, and do they provide any to students?
So in our school, being a private business school in Norway, the tuition fees are the same regardless. So the same for Norwegians or Europeans or outside of Europe. So the tuition fees will be exactly the same. Norway is not part of the EU, so you can't apply for a EU loan, I guess. I think the best benefit is that you don't have to apply for a residence permit or a study permit. So you can, you only have to register. So I think that's the biggest benefit that you have if you have a European passport, that you don't have to go through that application process through the embassy.
Okay, perfect. We do have probably one last question, and that is in relation to scholarships. Is there any that are in offer for Latin American students? And
So
how would they apply?
Good question. We don't have scholarships that are specific for specific regions or countries. So all of our scholarships, I can say, I don't have the exact number of scholarships that we have, but I would estimate it to be around, on the master level, about roughly 60 individual scholarships. As I said, they vary in size and amounts, but you apply for a scholarship at the same time as you apply for the program. They're two separate processes, but you apply at the same time. So when you register your application, the system will ask you if you're applying for a scholarship. And if you say yes, then it will give you a place to upload your scholarship application. So you do that at the same time, which makes it quite easy. As I said, it's a very competitive program. We have a lot of applications we have more applications than we have scholarships. So, but it doesn't hurt to apply if you're considering yourself a good student and you have good grades, then, you know, we welcome your application. But just know that it is a very competitive, and you compete with people from all over the world.
Of course, that's the international student way, isn't it? And again, we have another question about IELTS, actually. I have an IELTS score of 6.5. I selected IELTS General. Is that okay, or do you require any specific IELTS category?
Not sure I understand. So, do I understand the question? Do you understand the question, Megan?
I think, are they asking if there's like a discrimination between different IELTS categories?
That's correct, yeah.
What are the different, I'm sorry, what are the different categories? That's what I have to ask, I guess. I'm not sure what the different...
I don't think we discriminate against different categories, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either. I've never come across that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a standard IELTS test, and we don't look at the separate the separate sections, we look at the overall score for the IELTS.
Okay, brilliant. I think that's come to the end really of our question Q&A. Of course, we have all of the questions that you guys have asked previously before the webinar. Do you guys want to put your social media back up so that people can get in touch, just in case?
Absolutely. Let me do it here.
Well, I just want to say a quick thank you to the presenters of the webinar. Thank you so much. You've been very, very informative and you have answered pretty much all the questions, which is great today. And I just want to say, everybody, have a look and check out viva-mundo.com, sign up to our newsletter, and you will find out everything that you need to know about international education. You guys, have we got anything else with Christine and Megan to add at the end?
I think there's one more question here I can see.
Yes, just came in just now.
Yeah, so I can answer that. For students with high school and 1 year of university education, is the admission based on their university freshman year grades or high school? What is the relative importance? Very good question again. So in order for our bachelor program, we do not have a grade requirement. On the master level, it's different. We do have grade requirements on master, but on bachelor, you don't have to have specific grades. You only have to have passed your high school and then the 1 year of university education. So no grade requirements. I hope that was an answer to your question.
Great, thank you so much for answering that just at the end. It was really good timing. Great that you saw that. Yeah, so thank you everybody for attending, and we will obviously put you in touch with the BI Norwegian Business School. Any questions that you do have, you can follow up on the screen via their social media as well. Anything that you guys want to add towards the end?
I just want to say thank you so much for attending, and thank you for hosting this webinar. I really appreciate it, and I just hope everyone stays healthy and safe, and please let us know if you have any questions. You are free to email us. Myself and Megan, our team will get your questions and get back to you. So thank you so much for coming, and yeah, stay safe and healthy and have a really nice weekend.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.